Hey folks! In this video we're going to make a base or a display stand for this replica sculpture of the head of a statue of the ancient Egyptian goddess Sekhmet. Now this is going to sound like an ad, but it's not. Bear with me, we don't have any sponsors at this time yet. I wanted to do a shout out to fellow artists and craftsmen. So I got this from my friend Mohammed from his shop in Egypt, where they make museum quality replicas of ancient Egyptian artifacts. And they use real materials like stone and metal and wood, just like the ancients did. So if you're in Egypt, stop by his shop, it's really worth the trip, and you get some really high quality souvenirs from your trip too. But if you can't make the trip to Egypt, you can find them on Facebook and they will sell it directly to you if you contact them. Alright, the shout out is over, let's get to work. I'm going to use a piece of this fantastic board of leopard wood that I have. This wood is diabolically splintery. I imagine planing it must be a nightmare, but we got a little square done. I'm gonna do a light finish on the surface because I really want to see what it looks like, so I can choose either side, because this one has small specks all over it, and this one has bigger specks all over it. For finishing, I'm going to use my drum sander, or surface sander, or what is this thing called again? Now that we have our neat little square, I wanted to have a border, and I'm debating what to make it out of. I'm thinking maybe a maple, but I don't like the contrast of the maple. I have some Padauk. I think it's more interesting, the contrast of those two. And I have it right at the exact size I need, so I'm gonna go with the Padauk. What happened here? I'm gonna make a hinge with masking tape to hold everything in place. No, it's leaking everywhere, it's a disaster. What have I done? I've made a mess. I've made a horrible, horrible mess. Now I just have to leave it to dry overnight.
The next day.
Let's see how it came out. That's a lot of squeeze out, but that's okay. I'm going to send this for the sander once more, and it's gonna grind it all out. This here is at the absolute maximum width that this machine can do. I have also prepared a test piece so I could see what different types of varnish look like on this exotic wood. And it is virtually impossible for a project not to include a good amount of hand sanding. Now, to support the head, I need a little dowel thing sticking up from here, and thankfully it already comes with a hole at the bottom, so I just need a little piece of wood and stick it in there. Now for that, I'm going to use a crappy old violin bow that I have. This is not good for music anymore, it's a crappy bow, but it makes a perfect little wooden dowel. Right, I need about this much. Let's see if it fits. It's a very tight fit, but yeah, some slight adjusting. I am aware that I have a lathe. This is just simpler. Let's see how it fits now. And there we go, it's perfect. Perfect fit. Now I have to decide which side to use, and I have long streaks and I have short dots. So it's long, short, long, short. I'm gonna go with the short. Now let's mark the center here. Actually, I just realized I don't want the center because she's forward heavy. See, she has more mass this way than she has this way. So it needs to sit a little further back than the center. Let's do a dry fit to make sure everything fits. There you go. We're ready to glue. Now I have to determine what varnish I'm going to use, and for that I made a test piece. And here we have some lacquer and shellac, and you can barely tell any difference. In person I can tell that the lacquer has a little bit more orange and the shellac has a little bit more red. And then on the other side this is bare as it was, and water-based polyurethane. If it weren't for the sheen it gives, you could barely tell that there is anything in here. It makes it slightly darker. But I'm thinking, this is for another project. The water-based polyurethane, it barely changes any color in any way whatsoever. But the shellac darkens the colors a little, and especially on the Padauk, it makes it this crimson blood red. And since this is a statue of Sekhmet, and she was the Lady of Slaughter, the Blood Eater, I think it's befitting that the basis for her statue is surrounded by this crimson red color. So I'm going to go with shellac. And there we have it. I'm quite pleased with the way this came out. I love the contrast in the color of the red of the Padauk with the exotic color and texture of the Leopardwood. I think that came out really nice. And I think it's a fitting pedestal for displaying a replica of a fragment of a statue of a goddess. So, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, any comments, please leave them below. And check out Mohammed's shop, it's worth it. He has some amazing stuff that you can get. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.